Welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and I never thought that I would be saying this, but this Bud Light story is getting kind of hard to keep up with. Listen, I don't know how much you all know about me. I am well aware that a lot of the people watching my Bud Light videos probably haven't watched my other videos, but usually I'm talking about things that are a little more complicated and intricate than this Bud Light fiasco. Usually I'm diving into true crime cases, maybe exposing Hollywood celebrities for being creepos and weird stuff like that. And you know, that stuff can be difficult to cover, but I gotta say, this Bud Light story, it's like it's taken on a life of its own, and there's constantly just boom, 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 more news about Bud Light, more news about Bud Light. So much stuff going on with this news story, it's almost mind-blowing. I honestly didn't see it going this far. I'm glad we're here. I would like to think that I've helped us get to this point somewhat. You know, maybe just a drop in the bucket, but hey, I would like to think that my videos reach some people. Maybe my videos show some people why everyone is so upset at Bud Light. But I didn't think that it would just be such a constant feed of news. And Bud Light is scrambling. They're running around like a chicken with its head cut off. And that's maybe why it's so hard to follow, because they are pumping out new ad campaigns. They are firing people. They're releasing statements. And as most of you all already know, we talked about it on this channel a couple of times, they've fired 2 people already. They claim they put them on leave. They fired them. They fired 2 people already that were somewhat responsible for this controversial ad. I don't even want to say the dude's name anymore. You know, that guy that pretends to be a little girl. Well, anyways, they already fired a couple of people, but now they have just wiped out this whole entire ad agency that works for them. Bud Light has now confirmed that they fired the entire ad agency that was working for them. The ad agency that came up with the idea that it would be a good idea to allow a child predator to promote their beer. And it's funny because some people are still trying to cope. They're trying to say, Bud Light didn't fire these people. They put them on leave. Well, guess what? They just fired the entire ad agency. That means everyone is gone. Let's go ahead and dive into this article. Anheuser-Busch cans third-party ad agency tied to recent fiasco. Anheuser-Busch is telling U.S. beer distributors it has fired the third-party ad agency behind Bud Light's cross-dressing beer can fiasco. But the beer giant is staying tight-lipped about the marketing firm's identity, even launching a fresh ad campaign aimed at damage control. The company's global CEO, Michael Doukeris, this week came out swinging at what they label as misinformation being spread about the extent of Bud Light's relationship with the controversial influencer who likes to convince little kids to change their gender. We need to clarify the facts that this was one camp, one influencer, one post, and not a campaign, the Anheuser-Busch boss said. Anheuser-Busch also sent a letter to General distributors telling them it had cut ties with the firm responsible for the concept that has led to Bud Light sales cratering since last month, after a video on TikTok showed a man pretending to be a woman drinking Bud Light with their face printed on the side of the beer can. The Belgian-based conglomerate said the beer can at the center of the firestorm was not produced by Anheuser-Busch or at any of its facilities. They claim that ad agencies send out hundreds of influencer kits a year, some of which have customized cans included. like the one involved in this situation. All right. You see, this is where I gotta pause. Listen, I don't follow up with Bud Light. I don't follow them on Instagram or Twitter. I don't know what they do. But I can tell you right now, I haven't seen these hundreds of other cans with people's faces on them. They're literally right here lying, saying the ad agency sent out these influencer kits to influencers everywhere, hundreds of influencers. How come we don't see any other influencers posting videos with their personalized beer cans? Point one out. Where are these influencers at? Bud Light didn't send me a beer can with my face on the side of it. I haven't seen anyone with a personal Bud Light can except that one dude with the 5 o'clock shadow that pretends to be a woman and mocks women, mocks gay men, and hell, he even mocks trans people. So I really hate that they're just blatantly lying. And in my opinion, this makes the situation worse. It's like you keep putting your foot in your mouth. You keep sabotaging yourself. Maybe y'all should just shut the hell up and just disappear. Honestly, that's probably the best thing these people can do because everything they do and say, it backfires. And now I have an issue. I have an issue that you're blatantly lying to people, pretending like you sent personalized beer cans to hundreds of people. Where in the hell are these people at? I'm sure they would have loved to show the fact that Bud Light felt they were important enough to print their face on the side of a beer can and send it to them. Yet we don't see any of these other influencers out here sporting their personalized beer cans. All we see is this one dude that likes to pretend to be a 12-year-old little girl running around with his beer, sipping it in a hot tub. It almost made me throw up in my mouth. And yes, the throw up, the acid reflux, kind of tasted like Bud Light. No, I don't drink Bud Light, but Bud Light does taste gross. So I'm sitting here like, whoa. You are gaslighting people. You are lying to people. Not only are you lying to people, you're lying to your employees. You're lying to the wholesalers and the distributors that you're trying to convince to still buy your beer. Oh, don't worry. You listen, we sent out hundreds of cans with people's faces on them. No, you didn't. Where are all these cans? Where are all these cans? Oh, that's right. They probably went to a bunch of kid-tickling chomos. That's why we haven't seen these cans. The influencers you speak of aren't influencers at all. Maybe, listen. All I'm saying is if y'all thought it was a good idea to put that dude who likes to pretend to be a little girl on the side of a beer can, then who else did y'all send the beer cans to? That's kind of worrisome. Did Chris Chan get his own beer? Maybe you sent one to the Dalai Lama. Hell, if Epstein was still here, you probably would have gave him a can too, right? So maybe they did send out a bunch of cans, but it didn't go to people who we think it went to. Must have went to a bunch of those groomers, huh? Jeffrey Marsh, maybe he got a beer can. But in all honesty, yeah, I have a problem when people gaslight people and blatantly lie to them, and this is a blatant lie. Like, good on you. You got rid of the ad agency that got you in this debacle. But you won't even name who the ad agency is. So the internet being the internet and me being who I am, I guess we're going to have to do some research and find out who this ad agency is. Because y'all are trying to keep it secretive. And I don't like that. If you want to be transparent with your customers, name the ad agency and don't lie to them about this ad. Y'all did not send hundreds of beer cans to other people. No, you picked this dude in a dress because this is who you wanted to be the face of Bud Light. You thought this was a good idea. You really did. You thought you would gain a lot of new customers and supporters. That dude doesn't even have supporters. So I don't know who you were trying to appeal to. Like I've stated before, basically what it boils down to is that they were trying to appeal to the gender-confused preteens and teenagers that dude in the dress tries to appeal to. Make no mistake about it. Cut and dry. That's what it is. But it's nice to see that y'all are firing people. It's nice to see that y'all are making moves, but guess what? I don't think anyone's coming back to drink any more Bud Light. So I assume more people are going to lose their jobs. And it sucks for the regular people who just work at Bud Light. You ain't got nothing to do with this, but hey, this is the reality of life. And maybe you'll just have to find another job. Because I'll tell you this. It's important. Like, I don't like people losing their jobs. I don't mind that the ad agency and the people involved in the ad that they did, I don't mind if they lose their jobs. But the hard-working, everyday men and women, I don't want y'all to lose your jobs. It's important to me that y'all are employed. But your employment at Bud Light is not more important to me than the innocence of children. And the reality is our world, our society is going down a dark path. And maybe some people are going to have to lose their jobs in order for us to straighten things out. But guess what? Other jobs will appear where you could work for people who have similar values, or their values don't even have to line up. You could work for people who don't think it's a good idea for creepos to have their face posted on the side of beer cans. I don't know about you all, but I'd rather work for a company that doesn't support grooming kids as opposed to one that does. So yeah, I feel bad that people are going to lose their jobs, but at the end of the day, it's something that just has to happen. It has to happen in order for us to course correct. But let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and remember to always remain opinionated.